And we're back!
Yay!
Yay! Day 26!
If the lesson seemed a bit long, we're trying to knock all of these out in one episode bits, since we're almost done.
Just like do each chapter as its own episode is the idea. It seemed like it would be easier to follow. Anywho, we are now on the 39 steps! All seems lost, but could Scudder's pocketbook hold the secret to the Blackstone's whereabouts? What?
I don't
Okay.
know.
Sure, why not? What do I know? Nothing. I know nothing. My name is Jon Snow. Sunday, 14th of June, 1914, Queen Anne's Gate, London.
And I feel reassured.
Sir Walter!
Gentlemen!
This is an epic poker table.
5 surprised faces looked up from a round table. There was Sir Walter and Drew the War Minister, whom I knew from his photographs. There was a slim elderly man, who was probably Whittaker, the Admiralty official, and there was General Winstanley, conspicuous from the long scar on his forehead. Lastly, there was a short, stout man with an iron-grey mustache and bushy eyebrows. This must have been Royer.
This is Mr. Hannay, of whom I have spoken to you. I'm afraid, Hannay, this visit is ill-timed.
That remains to be seen, sir. But I think it may be in the nick of time. For God's sake, gentlemen, tell me who went out a minute ago.
Sir Walter's face reddened with anger.
Lord Alloa.
It was not. It was his living image, but it was not Lord Alloa. It was someone who recognized me, someone I have seen in the last month. He had scarcely left the doorstep when I rang up Lord Alloa's house and was told he had come in half an hour before and had gone to bed.
Who?
The Black Stone.
Nonsense.
I sat down in the chair so recently vacated and looked around at 5 badly scared gentlemen.
I read it as scarred.
But there's only one R.
I'm saying I read it wrong.
Oh,
It's
okay.
funny.
Okay. Sir Walter got up and left the room while we looked blankly at the table. We slowly spun closer. He came back in 10 minutes with a long face.
It was just drooping.
He was carrying it in his left hand. Waved it around a little.
I have spoken to Alloa. Had him out of bed, very grumpy. He went straight home after Malross's dinner.
But it's madness. Do you mean to tell me that that man came here and sat beside me for the best part of half an hour and that I didn't detect the imposture? Alloa must be out of his mind.
I was getting back my coolness.
Well, don't you see the cleverness of it? You were too interested in other things to have any eyes. You took Lord Alloa for granted. If it had been anybody else, you might have looked more closely, but it was natural for him to be here, and that put you all to sleep.
Let's insult everyone. That'll get them on our side.
Right? They'll totally agree with us after that. Royer bent his wise eyebrows on the assembly.
Whoa!
Which is a weird thing to do.
Young man is right. His psychology is good. Our enemies have not been foolish. I will tell you a tale.
Psychology.
It happened many years ago in Senegal.
Oh boy, it's story time.
This reminded you of a dream.
Movie time. Royer's close shave.
Right, close shave.
Many years ago, the General Royer was quartered in a remote station in Senegal. To pass the time, he fished for big barbel in the river. I'll be back soon, girl. Stamp, said the horse.
Is it a lion?
That appears to be a lion. One morning, his horse was unaccountably restless,
Due to the lion.
probably due to the lion. Royer kept soothing her with his voice, his mind intent on fishing. I'll be back soon, girl! Fish, fish, fish. Fish, 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 fish. I have caught a fish. It is a large fish.
Look at this stupid little fish.
A couple of hours passed. I have got several fish. These are my fish. Those other fish over there are just for show, and I will leave them there.
But maybe fish skins. Maybe he's skinning them as he catches them.
No, those are just the fish he didn't want because he's a jackass.
Oh
His horse is now a skeleton,
His
which
horse
is the
got a
funniest thing
bola.
everything.
no! Wow.
Roar! I am a
Oh.
lion! Raya stood face to face with an old man-eater, the terror of the village. Roar! I am still a lion.
It's a mixture of a lion, a frog, and a viper.
I will punch you with my fishing rod.
Wait, what was the point of that story?
I was enough of a hunter to know a true yarn when I heard it.
I stuffed my fishing rod into his jaws, and I had a pistol. Also, my servants came presently with rifles. But he left his mark on me.
He held up a hand which lacked 3 fingers.
Consider. The mare had been dead more than an hour, and the brute had been patiently watching me ever since. I never saw the kill, for I was accustomed to the mare's fretting, and I never marked her absence, for my consciousness of her was only of something tawny, and the lion filled that part.
Epic mustache.
If I
Yes.
could blunder thus, gentlemen, in a land where men's senses are keen,
Oh my god, Roar.
why should we busy, preoccupied urban folk not err also?
Yeah. Why should we not?
We have
Yeah.
collected General Royale!
I can think of many reasons why we should not. Yeah. First and foremost is that. Yeah.
Sir Walter nodded. No one was ready to gainsay him.
Well, I suppose there is nothing for it but to change the plans.
Whitaker was looking very glum.
Did you tell Lord Alloa what has happened? No? Well, I can't speak with absolute assurance, but I'm nearly certain we can't make any serious
That
change.
man's a Nazi.
Unless we alter the geography of England.
He paused and looked around. We contemplated how to move the mountains.
God, and we have not a rag of a clue.
Besides, there is the post. By this time, the news will be on its way.
No. You do not understand the habits of the spy. He receives personally his reward, and he delivers personally his intelligence.
The Telehans.
We in France know something of the breed.
We're all spies in France.
There is still a chance, mes amis.
What'd you call me?
These men must cross
Mes
the
amis.
sea, and there are ships
I'm not
to
a
be
mes amis.
searched and ports to be watched.
You might be a mesame.
Believe me, the need is desperate for both France and Britain.
France.
The French are French.
Hansel? Hansel?
France.
Hansel? I had a sudden inspiration.
Where is Scudder's book? Quick, man. I remember something in it.
What is it?
Well, then.
You call a quick man.
Yep. And now, hopefully, I will be able to move these photographs. Swipe. To the right.
Oh god.
To the left.
Keep going.
To the left again.
Oh my god.
And down.
39 steps. 39 steps. I counted them. High tide, 10:17 p.m. What relevance is all...
The Admiralty man was looking at me as if he thought I had gone mad. Which I
Don't you see? It's a clue. Scudder knew where these fellows laired. He knew where they were going to leave the country, though he kept the name to himself. Tomorrow was the day, and it was some place where high tide was at 10:17.
But they may have gone tonight.
Not they. They have their own smug, secret way, and they won't be hurried. I know Germans, and they are mad about working to a plan.
They smell like chocolate.
Where the devil can I get a book of tide tables?
Whitaker brightened up. I have one in my pocket.
Let's go over to the Admiralty.
Hope that makes sense.
Fair enough. We got into 2 of the waiting motor cars. Sir Walter went off to Scotland Yard to mobilize MacGallivray.
We went to the Admiralty.
Oh, I guess they're right across from each other, so.
Right next door to the horse guards.
Horse guards.
They guard the horses. Measles.
Did you just say for measles?
And horse mumps.
That's not a thing.
There was a song about it.
about horse mumps.
Yeah. It was all like, horse mumps, takes me away to where my horse gets on of the mumps.
That is not...
It is. Christopher Cross ripped it off.
A resident clerk was unearthed who presently fetched from the library the Admiralty tide tables.
Although they keep the timetables there, too.
They probably do. 1 times 7 is 7. Tide tables. 2 times 7 is 14. I sat at the desk and the others stood round, for somehow or other I had got charge of this expedition. But 'twas no good. None of us knew how to read. So far as I could see, 1017 might cover 50 places. We had to find some way of narrowing the possibilities. There must be some way of reading this riddle.
It's the one with 39 steps.
That is the answer. We haven't thought of that yet, though. The riddle.
The riddle!
The steps! What did Scudder mean by steps? If it were dock steps, why mention the number? Must be some place with several staircases, and one marked out from the other by having 39 steps.
It's a weird number of steps.
It is a weird number of steps. High tide. Why was high tide so important? It must be some little harbor, or no harbor at all. There were no sets of staircases on any harbor I had ever seen. The place must be a bit of open coast.
The tide just comes in. It's like, yo, man, it's all cool. I got the munchies. Anyone got like snacks?
I'm just here for some chips.
I'm just a tide.
You guys got any chips?
I'm just tired.
I'm the tide. Germany. He's a man in a hurry. He wants a speedy and a secret passage. They wouldn't travel by a big boat from a regular harbor. There's no regular steamer sailing at that hour.
They'll float on a goat.
Which coast? I must put myself in the enemy's shoes. I wouldn't leave from the Channel or the West Coast. Scotland is too far. I would try for Ostend or Antwerp or Rotterdam. I should sail from somewhere on the East Coast between Cromer and Dover.
Sure. I know my European geography enough to comment on that.
Yeah, sure you do. This is all guesswork. I'm no kind of Sherlock Holmes. But I do have a feeling about all this. It's bad. No time. Time is running out. Time is running out. Time is running out. It just says time is running out like 13 times.
Yeah, because time is running out.
I'm not going to spend time reading time is running out.
It was 12 times.
You would count.
You only had to count the number of ellipses or beginning of sentences.
I set out all my conclusions on a bit of Admiralty paper. All the other
By
paper
George,
I
I've got it!
Fairly certain. Place where there are several sets of stairs. One that matters distinguished by having 39 steps. Full tide at 10:17 p.m., leaving shore only possible at full tide. Steps not dock steps, and so place probably not harbor. No regular night steamer at 10:17. Means of transport must be tramp, unlikely, yacht, or fishing boat.
Why is tramp so unlikely? You just kill a couple tramps, tie them together, and float across the ocean.
That's not how that works. Place guessed. Place not harbor, but open coast. Boat small, trawler, yacht, or launch. Place somewhere on east coast between Cromer and Dover. Sir Walter had joined us, and presently McGillivray arrived. He had sent out instructions to watch the forts and railway stations for the 3 men whom I had described to Sir Walter. Not that he or anybody else thought that would do much good.
Here's the most I can make of it. We have got to find a place where there are several staircases down to the beach, one of which has 39 steps. I think it's a piece of open coast with biggish cliffs somewhere between the Wash and the Channel. Also, it's a place where full tide is at 10:17 tomorrow night.
Then an idea struck me.
He actually meant 10:17 a.m.
Is there no inspector of Coast Guards or some fellow like that knows the East Coast?
Why, yes, there is. He lives in Clapham. Let me get him now.
Why do all of these people know all of this shit?
Because they're all nobility.
Yeah, it turns out there's like 20 people that live in London. They know all of them, and that's it.
Yes. They will never know anyone else, but they know every single person in the Book of Lords.
Alright.
He went off in a car to fetch him. I lit a pipe and went over the whole thing again till my brain grew weary. About 1 a.m, the Coast Guard man arrived. He was a fine old fellow with the look of a naval officer and was desperately respectful to the company.
We couldn't just ask him there.
This is
Bring
the
him.
chap.
Good evening, gentlemen.
We want you to tell us the places you know on the East Coast where there are cliffs and where several sets of steps run down to the beach.
What kind of steps do you mean, sir? There are plenty of places with roads cut down through the cliffs, and most roads have a step or two in them. Or do you mean regular staircases, all steps, so to speak?
Oh no, that was the sound of my phone. I'll be right back. We'll edit this out. Just keep it. You know what? We'll edit it out. All
Right.
right. One phone call later, and we're back.
Whitaker looked towards me.
We mean regular staircases.
He reflected a minute or two.
I don't know that I can think of any. Wait a second. There's a place in Norfolk, Brattlesham, beside a golf course, where there are a couple of staircases to let the gentleman get a lost ball.
That's not it.
Then there are plenty of marine parades, if that's what you mean. Every seaside resort has them.
I shook my head.
It's got to be more retired than that.
Well, gentlemen, I can't think of anywhere else. Of course, there's the Rough.
What's that?
The big chalk headland in Kent, close to Bradgate. It's got a lot of villas on the top, and some of the houses have staircases down to a private beach. It's a very high-toned sort of place.
Oh, it
and
sounds
the
like
residents
it.
there
Yep.
like to keep by themselves.
Obviously.
That is clearly the right place. Bradgate. 1017.
Bum bum bum.
We're on the scent at last.
It smells
How
like.
can I find out?
Never
What
mind.
is the tide at the Rough?
I can tell you that, sir. I once was let a house there in this very month, and I used to go out at night to the deep sea fishing. The tide's 10 minutes before Bradgate.
I closed the book and looked round at the company.
They looked squarely back at me.
If one of those staircases has 39 steps, we have solved the mystery, gentlemen. I want the loan of your car, Sir Walter, and a map of the roads.
Of course.
If Mr. McGillivray will spare me 10 minutes, I think we can prepare something for tomorrow.
Good. I, for one, am content to leave the matter in Mr. Hannay's hands.
What?
I don't know.
I just did
French.
innocent.
I got nothing. It was ridiculous of me to take charge of a business like this, but they didn't seem to mind, and after all, I had been in the show from the start. Besides, I was used to rough jobs, and these eminent gentlemen were too clever not to see it. By 3:30 that morning, I was tearing past the moonlit hedgerows of Kent with McGallifrey's best man, Scaife, on the seat beside me. Masters of disguise.
Wait. So during the event, the 39 steps, we never got to the 39 steps.
That is accurate, yes.
Did this change color, I believe, to bluish?
I think it was bluish before.
Alright.
Yeah. I did get a new card, though. I got General Royal.
Oh, good.
A senior and accomplished French naval officer, calm yet determined, Royal is a man of action among fumblers. He spent time in Senegal in his youth, where he managed to lose 3 fingers to a vicious man-eating tiger.
Finger-eating tiger.
It was his 4-legged adversary's last meal.
Finger-legged adversary.
No, he was not a finger-legged adversary. He was a finger-eating adversary.
Oh, okay.
Yes, there's a huge difference.
Well,
All right.
this is almost over.
Almost over.
I'm at the edge of my seat. That's a lie, but you can't see me.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to no, you are not allowed to tickle me. That is against the rules. There are rules, and the rules are you are not allowed to tickle me.
Go on.
I was going to let your lie slide and let them all think that you were just hanging at the edge of your seat.
Well,
Right then. So, we will continue on when we return.